Tired of cold camping? Well, this product is gonna blow your mind. Introducing the Tailfake, the fake tailgate for your truck camper. Tailfake is a patented product designed to replace your truck's tailgate to allow the passage of warm or cold air, keeping you nice and toasty. Get your Tailfake today for the introductory price of $99.95 or 4 easy payments of $25.95. Tailfake may cause extreme temperature differentials and feelings of euphoria. Previously on All Things Outdoors. Look out in the future for a video of me camping with this thing heating the canopy. I am a human of average height. Wait a sec, I reckon I can sleep in there.
Light bulb.
Paddling jacks, driving on the tracks, and so much more. Come along with All Things Outdoors.
That's the cemetery where Ned Kelly's buried, in an unmarked grave. You don't know which one he's buried in. G'day folks, welcome back to another adventure. This time Tommy and I are going out in the diagonal dual cab ute camper, and we're going to a place that we've been to before a couple of months ago called Jones's Reserve up near Tadong. We're both going to sleep in the back tonight, but I'm not going to put in the corner cupboard so we'll have more space, because Tommy's had a bit of a growth spurt lately and we want all the room.
A really tall one.
You've got a really tall growth spurt. So we're going to both sleep in the back there, but it's just going to be like mattress land. All mattresses in there, so we've got plenty of space. I've got the awning on as well, and I've got the awning tent, so if it's a bit cold, we can hang out in there, because I've bought the diesel heater and we can pump some heat in there. Plus I'm going to use the diesel heater for us in the back of the ute, but I've got a special way of doing that this time, so when I get there and set up, I'll show you how I've rigged it up so that we can have the diesel heater in the back with us and have some nice heat using a little remote control. We can turn it on from bed. So I'll update you guys when I'm a bit closer to camp, but yeah, enjoy the ride. What do you reckon, Tom?
Yeah.
Yeah boy. I don't know, let's find out. You can only just read it though. Hume and Hovell camped, what was that? 27th of the 11th, 1834. So they must have camped on this spot in 1834. So for those who don't know who Hume and Hovell are, Hume and Hovell were the first explorers to sort of come through this land between Melbourne and Sydney way back in the early 1800s, surveying like a inland path between Melbourne and Sydney, the two biggest cities obviously in Australia at the time. And the good thing is that Hume and Hovell actually came directly through the town that we live in, Oxley, as well, which was named by them. So they must have obviously cut across the mountains over here, over to where we live, and then obviously headed on towards Sydney. So this is a spot where they camped. Now that's 190 years ago, Tom, when they did that.
I'm standing on a high.
I don't think that this obelisk is 190 years old, but it's like a marker that marks the spot.
What is that ground on 90 years old?
You reckon? Yeah, well, quite possibly it is. So, a little bit of history there. Here we go. Here's Jones Road.
coming out.
Pretty nice spot down here at Jones's.
Is this a shot?
What are you giving a shot?
Go across there.
You're going to go across there? Right, let's go. I'll come with you. There's a beautiful little creek down here. It's not as pretty as the upper Jamison. There's a lot of blackberry and stuff around here that just sort of makes the place a bit ugly. But I mean, we're only 50 minutes from home, so you get that real sort of high country feel here. Even though you're fairly close to home, I guess it just goes to show how close we are to the high country. You be careful there, mate. Don't fall in the water.
I know how to do it.
Alright, you show us how it's done. You're going to go over to the island, are you?
What?
What, over there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go on then. You want to go too, Ella? You right, Tom? Yep. Don't fall in the water. You'll be wet.
There's like a little path there.
Geez, I tell you what, as soon as the sun dips below the horizon, the temperature drops immediately. It's getting a bit cool now, so we'll definitely have to get the diesel heater cranked up in the back of the ute tonight just to warm the place up before we get into bed, and then we'll turn it off because I'm not going to have it running all night, otherwise it'll get too hot in there. And it's got the remote control too, so we can just click the button and turn it on in the morning without having to get out. But I'll show you in a minute how we've got it set up, because it's a different method this time that I'm going to try out. I'm going to put this thing in so we can put the heater in.
I want to go do some maniac driving.
That's alright, off you go. Don't worry, we can see you there, bud. This is how I've got the diesel heater set up for tonight. So in a previous video I built this false tailgate with the view to using it for air conditioning in there, but it actually works out quite well with this setup. So I've got my all-in-one diesel heater that's underneath there, and it's plugged into the auxiliary battery system inside the tray.
Hello.
G'day, Tom. It's got a remote control, as I said, but then I've got the ducting that goes in and it enters in through the hole there, which is what I had for the exhaust for the air conditioning, and it'll be able to keep the cabin warm, and the canopy actually closes down on it and creates this nice seal along there, so keeps the cold out.
And
so that's how we'll run with it tonight. Oh, Dilly. Don't poke it. Oh. Yeah, you're right. Dogged you right in the noggin. Don't jump out of the way of it. That's okay. Come on then. We'll go and sit down. I had so much fun cooking on the little wood stove last time, so I'm going to do it again tonight. Puts out a really nice bit of heat. Hey Tommy, hello. Puts out a really nice bit of heat, and
look at the moose socks.
You got your moose socks, mate.
Moose socks.
Good one. Yeah, so we'll see if we can get that going. Just turn the diesel heater on. Tommy's testing it out for me. What? Is it good? He said it's lovely in there. Decided to keep it super simple for dinner tonight, just doing sausages because we're only coming out for a night. Nice and easy, and Tom seems to like them, so every time we come out camping in the dual cab setup, we seem to have sausages. That's alright, we get to spend more time together. couldn't really get the wood stove going very well. It seems to be going all right now, but it wasn't getting hot enough, so I switched over to the butane stove, and as soon as I did that, it started going all right. Anyway, we're going now with the butane stove over there, cooking the sausages, so we get the troops fed. Because the little King's 12 amp hour battery pack did so well on the last trip, I've decided to run it all night tonight as well, out of the vehicle, so we're not going in and out of the vehicle all the time. And we're also using the little, I think it's 18 litre King's fridge.
Hello.
Just because we do need to bring as much food tonight, so we run on with this little fridge. It seems to
Not that much.
hold everything in there nicely, doesn't it?
Salami stick, that's my favourite.
Yeah. Do you want to eat that as an appetiser? Do you want that now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get it now. You look like a Sith Lord with that thing on, Tom.
Yeah, I know.
Say, my apprentice. My apprentice. Tommy and I jumped in to the back of the ute and started to get cosy, and we thought, oh, let's turn the diesel heater on and heat the place up. Well, it's been on for all of 5 minutes and it's already unbearable in here, so we'll turn it off. But we got like a heap of blankets and everything as well, so we haven't forgotten anything.
Stick my fingers outside.
Yeah, I'm going to shut that up in a minute, but as you can see, I don't have the corner cupboard in this time because I wanted to give us as much room as possible, so our heads will be together up that end, but we should have enough room, despite Tom having grown several inches since we last camped in here. But
I'm fine.
you're fine?
Yeah.
I know, you look fine. Look how cosy you are. Snug as a bug. You got all the room in the world, mate. I think it was probably a good idea that we left that little bit of the cupboard out, because then at least we can spread out a little bit more, can't we? So I'm going to turn the diesel. Actually, let's turn the diesel heater off right now.
I don't know.
So I've got the little remote here, and you can see where the duct comes in.
How do you turn it off?
Right there.
Dad, how do you turn it off?
How do I turn it off? So see, I've got this remote control.
Yeah.
That's connected wirelessly to the diesel heater that's down.
So what's the button to turn it off?
Would you like to do it?
Yeah.
Alright. See the button that says off? Do you want to push that? Do you hear it stop clicking? Can you hear it? It's going quieter and quieter.
Yeah.
But at least when we wake up in the morning, we can just hit the remote and turn the diesel heater back on and stay toasty in here. The only thing is though, I've forgotten the Reflectix little curtain inserts that I've got. So, and I know that we've had a full moon recently, so when the moon comes up tonight, it could be very bright in here. So I might have to make up some makeshift curtains for us, just to try and keep a bit of that moon glare out. Alright.
If you undid the cord and just let it go outside.
Yeah, say good night.
Good night.
Is it cozy? Oop, that light's on. There we go, how's that? This was our makeshift
window curtains, wasn't it? Putting the sleeping bags up on the windows. Seemed to work alright too.
That was my sleeping bag.
Yeah, because all we had to do was block out these two windows because the moon was coming over the top and it wasn't bright in here. Can you turn the heater on for us please, Tom?
On.
Glad you slept well, Tom, because there was some silly neighbours down the road there. They were blasting their music until all hours, and they even started their chainsaw up at 3:30 in the morning. How rude is that? That's why I like finding campsites where there's no other people. It must be super cold this morning. The butane stove doesn't even want to go, so I'm going to have to chuck the butane can in my jacket for a little bit just to warm it up and get some gas flowing so we can cook breakfast. I've transferred the breakfast cooking to the fire because the butane stove just was not cutting it in the cold weather.
You're burning it!
Nah, she's right. What do you reckon? Bacon and eggies on the fire?
Pee-pee! Look at my pee-pee!
You're drinking wee? Oh, that's disgusting.
How'd you get them wet?
Hey Ella, say awoo! That's it, say awoo!
Alright, Tom, do you want to turn the diesel heater off for me? Press the off button. Did it go off?
Yeah.
It says off. Another interesting night hanging out in the diagonal dual cab ute camper, especially with another little body in there. But I think we did ourselves a favour by not putting the corner cabinet in this time and giving ourselves some more room, because I was able to get my head up in the corner like I usually do and lay the full length of the diagonal. And Tom, you had plenty of room right beside me, didn't you?
I would have died the dog hunt.
The dog, yeah.
I have moose socks and they were hunting for deer.
Well, what Tom's talking about is there was some deer hunters hunting around the campsite this morning, and they had their dogs out flushing out deer, and there was a shot that was very, very close to the campsite there right at the end. So he's wearing his moose socks and he was concerned that he was going to get shot. But
another successful night. I mean, it's not the greatest of sleeps when there's two bodies in there wriggling around, and we did have some neighbours that were super noisy during the night. They were playing music until it must have been at least 4 AM, and at about 3:30 AM they cranked up their chainsaw to cut more wood. Amateurs. You cut as much wood as you need for the entire night, you know, especially when you've had a few drinks too. Using a chainsaw at 3:30 in the morning when you've got a few drinks under your belt is not the smartest thing to do, but especially when there's other people camped around you as well. I mean, I would have loved it if we had the campsite to ourselves, but you know, being a public camping area, you've got to share it obviously, but when there's people camping nearby you like that, try and be a bit more respectful if you're going to camp out in those public camping areas. It's just common sense really, especially considering we lent those people a shovel to dig some holes for their camp stove, so I think it was a bit rude, to be honest, that we helped them out and then they paid us back by making a whole heap of noise and ripping chainsaws and just being rude neighbours. But anyway, we won't let that small interaction ruin what was otherwise a good night. I think Tommy and I were plenty warm in there as well. We did have the diesel heater hooked up. We used it obviously to preheat the canopy before we got into bed, but it turned out to be way too hot in there, so we had to turn it off, and I didn't feel cold at all during the night, and I wasn't nearly as rugged up as I was when we were up the Jamison a few weeks back. And I think you were warm too, weren't you, Tom? Yeah, so no problems there at all. And then this morning, yeah, clicking on the diesel heater really heated the canopy up nicely. And another good benefit of it, because there was so much condensation inside the canopy, the diesel heater actually helped to sort of dry that out a little bit before we packed everything away. So I think that was another little bonus of it too, so that not everything's wet when you're putting it away, and you know, then stuff gets mouldy. Obviously when I get home I'll unpack everything and make sure everything's aired out and dried out so that it's not all stinky and goes mouldy. Especially the awning there, I've got to roll that out and make sure that's dried out, because that'll get super mouldy otherwise if I leave it packed up like that. But other than that, another top trip. Still loving using the diagonal ute cab, what do I call it? The diagonal dual cab ute canopy camper.
And now we use Mark 2, but we're working on Mark 3.
Oh, you've let the cat out of the bag, mate. Yeah, what Tom's talking about is I'm actually working on a new design for the sleeping system that goes in the back of the canopy. So what I'm aiming to do is get that finished, and then the next time I go out on a camping trip in it, I'll be using the Mark III, but we'll just keep the details of that one a secret for now so that we can show it on the next video. But as always, thanks for watching everyone, and watch out for more adventures from Daddy and Tommy at All Things Outdoors. Say bye, Tom.